Hi all, so here's another update on where I am with my journey and learnings with the Defender and changes I've made. So these towing eyes at the back here, there's quite a lot of noise in the various groups and forums about, because these are cast iron, cast steel, and they're very heavy duty, and therefore they have to be sort of raw. Yeah, and you can get them powder coated, but they, in essence, if you powder coat them and then put D Shackles on them when you're towing or pulling anybody out, the powder coating comes off, and of course it then spoils them. So consequently, what happens with these is they start to rust. That's the relevance of this point here I'm making. For those that you know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. For those that you're new to the Defenders or thinking of buying a Defender, these here, by use, particularly by use, or just by salt and one thing or other, will show rust. I'm not talking about rust that's of any concern. It's not structural rust, it's just eyesore rust. So what I've learnt is I basically just wipe a bit of ACF 50 oil on these, and I'll be doing that sort of twice a year to stop that. But of course, if you start pulling somebody out, D Shackles, whatever, and you start scraping against the steel here, you could still introduce rust. I've therefore bought these online. I mean, they're dirt cheap, they're like £3. You can get them all sorts of different colours. You don't have to go for the sort of the international recovery orange that I've gone for, but I've gone for that because I think it's a nice little sort of accent to the other colours of the vehicle in my case. And what this means is, if you do put anything on there, you're not going to be rubbing against the paint of these eyes. And of course, some of you will have red eyes here, red towing eyes. So these here, bought online, eBay, dirt cheap, any colour you want. They're nice sort of rubber. I might get some spare ones because I imagine these will get stolen, but for £3, you know. And that provides the protection. So you're pulling against here rather than against the steel. Then you've got the subject of the D Shackles themselves. I've got D Shackles and equipment in the garage there from when we had our last Defender, which had sort of winches and one thing and another. This one doesn't have a winch, and I put those towing D Shackles on there, and they were fine. They were fine with this, but even then, they will hit here. I'm not suggesting when you drive down the road, but even when you're just using them, and as you shackle on and shackle off or whatever, they smash against here and they'll cause scratches. And it drew me to consider this subject, which is, if I can try and take this off and do it in front of you, so to speak. This here is a soft D Shackle. I'm doing this a bit ham-fisted here, just get that in there. Soft D Shackle, there you are. And you get these to the correct loading for your vehicle. And if you think about it, tow ropes are made of, you know, these modern nylons. Tow ropes are, even winch cables. On my last Defender, I had an original worn winch with a steel cable, and everybody makes a big fuss about the steel cables now because they can snap. So these are very, very strong, and I've purchased these, what they call soft D Shackles, and they're not expensive. It's spec'd to the correct loading capacity, pulling capacity, towing capacity of the vehicle, and indeed of these eyes. You don't need me to explain all that. You don't need me to answer any questions, because you can find that out for yourself. It's very simple. Just look at the spec of the vehicle and then purchase based on that spec. And of course, the other thing is they weigh absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I throw them in the boot there underneath the floor, and for that rainy day scenario where somebody needs a pull out or tow out, it's there and it doesn't rattle. In my previous Defender, with all the kit I've still got in the garage there, you know, things would be rattling in the back the whole time. You know what I'm talking about. And that problem's now been mitigated away. Then going around the front of the vehicle, I've done the same at the front here. Oh, there's one of those bees, look. Oh, is that bee? Yeah, I have to look at that. Looks like a May beetle to me. And I've done the same here at the front. I've put one of those protectors there at the front so that, and I've coated it in ACF 50 oil, the actual cast eye, and I've put one of those protectors on there so that it will look good and perform well. And even if you did have to put a steel shackle on there, it won't cut into the paint, won't cause any problems. But I'll obviously use the soft D-ring shackle, and you buy them in pairs, and job done. The other thing here is seat covers. This company here, I mentioned them in the past, they're called, get it focused in, Stitch and Rivet. Stitch and Rivet, they're a UK company, and you'll see here on this card, it says custom order. So Stitch and Rivet will make you a set of Land Rover Defender seat covers with contrast stitching to your vehicle. So this vehicle is Grasmere green, as you can see. Bit of a Marmite colour, some like it, some don't. I've never had a car which has had so many compliments. I've had more compliments from more people every week driving this car in this colour, and everybody talks about the colour. They all compliment the colour. So there you are. But anyway, Stitch and Rivet here, British company. You can order your seat covers with contrasting stitching. There's obviously a bit of a price to pay for that, but look, the centre armrest as well, contrast, and the other seats over there, headrests. And crucially here, I don't know if you can just about see, but you can see holes in there. So this vehicle has got the ventilated seats, and I found when I had the Land Rover OEM seat covers, which are fully waterproof, admittedly, but you know, how often do I need fully waterproof seats? In the hot weather that we're enjoying at the moment, it struggled. I couldn't get the seat cooling to come through, and I do like the seat cooling. You know, why have something and not use it? So this here is perforated material here, strong, durable, allows the seat cooling to come through in the central panels. And again, this can be specified, or you can have the quilted diamond effect, again with the Grasmere stitching, or the stitching to suit your vehicle. I mean, if you had a black Defender, you could have this in red stitching to perhaps match your calipers if you've got the red calipers. It's not what I've got, it's not my style, but I'm just saying to you, this is what you can do. And they're very, very well fitted and installed. If you go onto their website and watch the installation video for the seat covers, they are very secure. All of the other ones I've had, this is the third set I've had for this vehicle. They all slide off and pop out for various different reasons, and these haven't budged at all. They work well. And the other point here on seat covers is the OEM ones, which are fully waterproof and they're functional. When you have guests, passengers in the back of this Defender, they all complain because they slide about. These are very, very slippy. They slide everywhere. And the other weekend we had 3 people in the back, 3 adults, and they were sliding everywhere. Around about. I mean, I was driving like an old woman, but they still found them sort of quite uncomfortable. So it's worth considering the Stitch and Rivet options and solutions here. I think I'm coming to the end of updates to discuss. Oh, there is something which I probably haven't mentioned in my previous videos, and that is I did buy from Powerful UK the front grille thing here that goes over that air vent, because it would be annoying if anything fell down those huge great big grooves when the vehicle is originally supplied from the factory. Basically, Powerful UK supply a vent that pops over the top of that, and it just stops anything falling down into your ventilation system. And also this here, this little thing that pops in, and it just converts this grab handle, which you would rarely use in reality, to 3 little pockets there for stuff. which you know is useful. I think I've mentioned all of these other things. So the final thing I wanted to say here this evening is service intervals, and I'm referring here to articles that have been discussed in the forums about Land Rover. I mean, all manufacturers are doing it now, aren't they? They're stretching out the service intervals. This is SA 0W30 oil, I believe. So, you know, the oil is, the viscosity of it is like water. And it's all done to improve the, you know, the economy and the performance of the vehicle. But its first service interval is something crazy like 2 years or, you know, 20,000 miles, just madness. And I'm just not prepared to take that risk. And I spoke to an independent local Land Rover dealer that's on the full sort of Land Rover database, authorized to service these vehicles. They're just not a selling dealer. So they're one of those independent service agents. They're wonderful people. Spoke to them and they said, yeah, just don't take the risk for the nominal cost of an oil and filter. So this vehicle has now done 3,000 miles. I'm going to get this serviced in terms of oil and filter now. I've already booked it in. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's just basically insurance. So this vehicle has no first service, you see. So basically the first time this oil will get changed is like 24 months, up to 20,000 miles, depending on how you drive it. And I'm just not prepared to take that risk, you know, further down the line. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it. I could be protecting it for somebody else in the future. I don't know, but it's just the way my old-fashioned mind thinks. So this is booked in already to have an oil service, and as they said, at the same time they'll remove all the belly pans here and they'll have a good look over it for me, you know, rather than wait 2 years for the main dealer to look at it and see if there are any drips or leaks. They'll do it, and of course then if there's a warranty issue, you know, they'll make the claim for us and do that, because they can cover all those points. So yeah, this is going to have an oil change, and I'm almost certainly going to do it. I mean, I'm not a massive high mileage driver, but I will be changing oil on this probably every year now, because these modern engines, these new engines, you know, this is quite an amazing engine in this. It's basically supercharged with that electric turbo, so effectively supercharged. You know, I'm just not going to take the risk on an unknown new engine on the basis of stretching out that low viscosity oil. I believe, because of course I don't script these videos and I don't have notes, I've literally just wing it. I believe I've covered off everything that's new and different. I am looking at what I do to secure this for when we're parked at airports and one thing and another, flying away. Haven't found that solution yet. I'm communicating. I'm also waiting for Powerful UK's to come up with their solution. So I hope this has been of use and of benefit to your considerations for the L663 Defender. Enjoy.